off and define the boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on to say, people that don't have boundaries allow themselves to get involved with a lot of things.
Right.
So I asked these two students, I said, what are some of the things that you find yourself getting into without boundaries? They said drama.
Mm-hmm.
They said disrespect. They said depression. And they said no self-worth. Then I went on to say, is that positive begets positive? And then I finally told them at the end, you chose not to write the script. Now, all of this is the life of a human being.
Mm-hmm.
Staying with me? All of this is the life of a human being. So when we don't have boundaries, that tells me that the individual has not written the script.
Right, I agree.
And the script is inside of this boundary is all about what you decide your life is going to be about. Stay with me. I'm going to take you somewhere. We're going on a journey. So if you allow drama, that's the script that you wrote. If you allow disrespect, that's the script that you wrote. If you allow depression, that's the script that you wrote. If you feel no self-worth, that's the script that you wrote. So if this is the life you chose, and this is the script that you wrote for yourself, life chose it for you.
True.
People walk around in life and never write the script. They never define who they are, who they want to be, and then write the steps for how they're going to get there.
Why do you tell me to bring my daughter to play?
And there's a system for that, Mr. Witherspoon. The system will enslave you, and you'll never meet your potential because you'll always have to work for someone else.
Because you'll always live your life. What you're doing is, like I said, there is an outline. Your life itself is the outline.
Absolutely.
Stay with me. Your life is the outline. So what happens is, this becomes you. You have the corners of a foundation, but you have no foundation.
And you can't build a house.
Okay? So notice what I said. You have the corners of the foundation, and this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Because you never chose to define it so that it could, what? Become a model that can be used, that was designed by you. So if you never designed the system, if you never designed the model, your life, you'll find yourself, look, let me tell you something. People that find themselves in jail, people that find themselves getting locked up, people that find themselves violating their own principles in life, notice I said their own principles in life, this is what happens to them. They go to jail. Now watch this. Let me show you something. Here's what I value. This is what I told you. I wrote the script, folks, a long time ago. So, this is me. Me. So, you see this? See this?
I do too.
I'm talking about me. So this is me. So here's what I value. I value respect. I value trust. I value what else?
Commitment
Y'all know. I told you.
and friendship
And I value friendship.
with an S.
Okay? Friendships. Now, okay, so now that I've set the boundaries for my life, when I come to a point where, notice it's all closed. Commitment is a challenge for me. If I'm in a commitment, I'm not going to violate one of my principles because I set the boundary. But notice if I had a hole here, I would cross over it and never even knew I crossed over it because I never set the boundary. So what happens in life, folks, is you're not setting boundaries. It's a real simple thing. you have to draw the line for where the buck stops. You have to draw the line for where the disrespect stops. You have to draw the line for where there's no commitment, where there should be commitment, right? So I value respect. So when you get ready to disrespect me and I get ready to disrespect you, I already know that's a boundary, so I step back so that I don't disrespect you. And I'm going to tell you, Mr. Scott, you're borderline disrespectful.
Right.
That's your warning.
Right.
Okay? Now, trust. I value trust. All right? That's important to me. So when I come to this place where my trust is what? Questionable, I stop and think. The problem here is you don't have a foundation that makes you stop and think before you create, before you what? Move into an action. So you have to draw the boundaries. All right? Now, same with commitment, same with friendships. I just told people, there are some people on your list in your phone that you ought to fire.
Yes.
Because they're violating all the rules that you've created on behalf of friendship and yourself. The problem is you allow them to remain because you never set the boundaries. Now look at this. All of them are connected. You notice?
Yes.
And that defines the me. So if you haven't set boundaries for your life, set them. It's really simple. You should have 4 sides. And the 4 sides should include the 4 most important things that have meaning to you. Notice I didn't say 10. I didn't say 20. 4. 4 things. And I promise you, you'll live your life differently. Promise you. Promise you. So when it's all messed up, and it's all drama and all that other stuff we drew, that's why I call it a mess. I don't know what happened to my other page, but it's a mess. So when your life is a mess, whose life is a mess? If your life is a mess, that's okay. So you're not the only one.
Yeah.
If your life is a mess, it's because you have not developed and defined the boundaries to your life.
My life was a mess.
Sounds like you have some boundaries. So when you get home tonight, I want you to draw a square. Okay? I want you to draw a square. And you need to probably be by yourself. And the reason you need to be by yourself is because it requires some critical thinking. Because you have to really determine what has meaning to you. Watch this. Dennis says that his life is no longer a mess. So we're going to use him as an example.
And I'll explain why.
Exactly.
The first one you had.
Well, wait a minute. Let him talk.
So Dennis, what would you put over here? What would you put right there, Dennis?
The stuff that you had on there the first time,